And welcome to our workshop. It's great to see such enthusiasm even in the chat so early in the morning for us here in Ireland, and I know in Portugal it's 9 a.m. so it's very early. You're very welcome, and I'm delighted to be here to welcome you to today's workshop, How to be a Successful Researcher. This workshop was designed and is delivered to you by the RunEU Plus project, which is a support project for RunEU, or European University. It's part of a larger training program, which is our Researcher Career Development Program. So for some of you, this might be your first training workshop. For others, you may have attended before. Anyway, you're very welcome. So today, the workshop focuses all about publication and the importance of publishing as part of your researcher career. It also looks at collaborations and funding applications and how best to approach them and why they are important. So the presenters today and your facilitators are all experienced researchers, so don't be shy, speak to them, open up. The workshop is also an opportunity to network with other researchers in your area across RunEU. I'd like to thank our presenters and our facilitators, and especially then the coordinators and organisers of this workshop. So Verve, Hannah, Tele and Murphy, all of whom you will be meeting today. So on a final note, I just want to say, enjoy your workshop, and the more you participate in it, the more you will get out of it. So thanks everybody, and enjoy your day. Thank you, Verve.
Thank you, Siobhan, very much. And I also welcome you on behalf of the organizers. And so there is a great group of people already online, and maybe we will get some more. I'm Virve Kallioniemi-Chambers from the Häme University of Applied Sciences. And so on the slide, so you see that we ask that you keep your microphones and cameras switched off when we have these presentations. Today we will have presentations, and also we will work in breakout rooms. And these presentations, they will be recorded and then also published in our RunEU website. Hanna Lindroos is important person in organizing and supporting this whole workshop. And if you have any questions, so you can also send an email to her. But of course, we have the chat that we can use in our communication today. On the next slide, so you see that we have had already 3 workshops under this Researcher Career Development Training Program this year, and we'll have also one after this in the end of September. And this is a part of the program, and this also refers to it that also in future next year and following years we will organize these workshops for researchers. We are still in the process to find good practices in implementing the workshops for researchers, but we have learned already a lot and will learn also today more. And on the next slide, then these main topics today. So it is this publishing process and how to cope with its challenges, and then identify the first steps in building a network for collaborative research proposal writing. So the title of the workshop is Successful Research. So of course it is very broad and can bring many kind of thoughts into your mind. But so these are the things that we will focus on today. And it is everyone's contribution is important in like to get this workshop good and also beneficial for your following steps in building the collaboration within RunEU University. And then we go to the next slide, that you see that we have in RunEU, we have 7 universities from 6 countries. And so today we have especially participants from TUS, from Ireland, and also from Hungary, but participants from each partner university. And also when you registered to this workshop. We asked about your current researcher career states, and this information shows that many of the participants, they are doctoral students. Also, we have many lecturers, but also postdoctoral researchers. All in all, this shows that we have very nice combination of different researchers from different researcher career states, and it is we take it that it is a richness in our discussions when we have them in our breakout rooms today. Then on the next slide, we see also these research clusters that are identified under RUN EU, and we asked, when you registered to the workshop, we asked you to identify the field that is especially in your research field. Today we have biggest group when we think that those who registered, it is education and social sciences, and that's why we have also at least 3 breakout rooms for this group. And then we have a little bit less participants in these other fields. But you can see these clusters on this slide. When you registered, you were also asked the wishes for the workshop discussions. And of course, when you saw the program, so that then you also took that kind of issues up that were referring to this program. So this publishing processes, how to identify the good research journal for your research field, how to develop own networking, collaboration. Here are some tips from expertise, research experts, but one message in these wishes is also that just to be open-minded and find possibilities to build collaboration in research. When I was watching these quotes, there were more than these. These are just like examples from this what you wrote, but so it referred also to one research article, which is about success and what is to be a successful researcher. And on the next slide, so I have there just briefly put the main results of this article, this research, because this is, I think it's nicely covers this our workshop topic today, because in this research, it was a interview research, and it was made in 3 countries, in New Zealand, Canada, and Sweden, and 60 early stage academics were interviewed, and most of them, their age was between 30 and 44. And this interview data was then analyzed, and then the researcher was identified the 2 kinds of success. These researchers were asked about what is successful researcher, and then the results were then categorized to 2 kinds of success: objective career success in academia, that is referring to this research productivity. You get your journals published in high-profile journals, you get external funding, you get promotion in your career, your status is the kind that you are invited to speak in the conferences, and then it can be said how many master theses you have supervised, doctoral dissertations, and also your salary has gone up. So these are these kind of objective career success features, but then in the data, it was also other kind of features of success, and that is named in this research subjective career success. And then it refers to this life satisfaction, balance between working life and personal life, and then with other duties, and then how the researcher feels that what kind of contribution he or she has to the society, and then also have some freedom to choose own research direction, research topics, and also research environment. It is satisfied, it gives satisfaction, and then have influence on students in the way that you know that there is some growth, there is some learning among them. So I think that these are also these results, just briefly here, they also cover like nicely some issues about what it is when we talk about success. But today we are then focusing on this publishing and then building the collaboration with the aim to apply funding. And then on the next slide, so just to repeat this, our program, the timetable. So we have presentation. Katalin Jaco will soon tell about the key challenges in publication. Then we will have short break, and during that break we will then finalize this, how to organize you to breakout rooms, and then we will have breakout session. And then also we will gather these discussions from these breakout rooms together, and then we will have lunch break. After the lunch, Petra Skanoidi will continue about the networking and collaboration in applying research funding. And also after this presentation and after a short break, so we will discuss about this topic in a breakout session and also summarize these together, these main issues in the discussions. So this, and then we close the workshop by 4. So we have interesting topics and issues to be discussed, and I just wish you all and we all a very, very nice time together. And so, Katalin, I will give the floor to you, and please, if you can say a few words about yourself first and then continue. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a technical question immediately. Can I share my screen?
You should be able to, yes.
Okay. So my name is Katalin Jaco, and I'm coming from Hungary, from Széchenyi István University. And I am an assistant professor and a program manager. I'm not talking about assistant professor position, I'm talking about program manager position. We are developing doctoral programs, and I am a program manager in operative level in a doctoral program in field of business administration. We are working, or I am working with RunEU in RunEU Plus, and I'm getting to know the project, and we have many common points on PhD level with the project. Today I will talk about the publication challenges. It is actually an introduction presentation because I'm not experienced enough, and I don't think that I will be experienced enough to tell the exact challenges in publication in all of the scientific fields. And that's why I took this slide as an introduction. You see 3 questions. I don't even read them, but I will talk about these 3 questions. And I think we cannot answer for these questions. So we are finding the answer, we are searching the answer continuously for these questions. Why are we motivated in research? What is strategy in publication? How can we deal with publication strategy? So we don't have the best answer for that. And I took a picture as well. This is from one of our previous meetings before this workshop. And we were talking about these questions, and where we just sent a message. This message with the gray letters is one of the feedbacks from a previous workshop. And this is about one of the biggest positive points from one of the participants. from previous workshop, and this most positive point of RunEU Plus workshops is that we give the platform for discussions. So we don't want to find the answer for questions or for topics. We don't want to find the best solution. RunEU Plus is the best platform to give the opportunity for the discussion. So that is our main goal today in the morning session. And actually, this is why we are here. But let's talk about these questions. So why we are motivated in research? Of course, there are different motivating factors. It can be differentiated based on research field, based on personalities as well. But if we interpret research as a basic human need, we can do that if we think about the communication channels of the 21st century. We all know, and we can admit that there are many communication channels, and there are many intentions behind the communication channels, business intentions, political intentions. And if we feel that, I guess we feel that in our everyday life, the DIY culture is getting stronger here. So we like to take and utilize our own information because we feel that if we take our own information through our own search, it is more reliable than an information from, I don't know, from a television channel. And we are living in this situation of life, and once we have opinion about information, we start to say our opinion, and we like to seek for acceptance or support of people around us. And once we feel that once we feel that the acceptance of people around us is not enough, we seek the acceptance of a population of people. We start to seek the acceptance of academy, group of people, colleagues, and after that, journals, scientific groups. And here comes the publication. So here comes the point where publication makes sense, when we feel that we want to make the dissemination of our opinions because there is a problem which is in our focus, and we want to deal with that problem. This is the very first message of my presentation. And once we are here, we can start to think about whether there is a structure behind research activity. Because once we start to build up the structure, we can think about publication strategy or research strategy later. Once it is an irrelevant goal, because depending on the scope of the discussions, we can define new challenges day by day and new structures day by day. And on the other hand, it is a relevant goal because it is worth to listen others' experience or others' opinion to build up or to put those opinions to our opinion. So that's why today we try to discuss about this, and thank you in advance for listening. One aspect of publication strategy. This aspect is coming from our doctoral program in business administration from our academic director Zoltán Balacskai. So this is not the general publication strategy. And this is tested in the field of business administration. And so that's not the best solution. I'm telling it in advance. And also, thank you in advance that you will take part in the breakout rooms and you will talk about your status quo of your research, the challenges, your experiences, and you take the energy for that. So this is our fourth step, which we are following, at least in the doctoral program with our students. And these are only keywords or key sentences. The first step is when we are moving among topics. The second step, when we are discovering the knowledge background. The third, when we are understanding the research field. And the fourth, when we attempt to solve the problem. Students are coming to us with different level of development. So one of our students have a very exact topic, very exact problem from practice, and others, they are only interested in academia and they are only interested in one topic. So we are positioning them among these four levels. And I just give a very short look how we are doing that. So I just took two photos for the migration among research topics. On the left side, you can see the 8 research field of RunEU. On the other side, you can see a photo from SkyMago, and you can see the Shape of Science photo from SkyMago. And this photo contains all of the journals, which can be your target journal later when you will work in publication. And it is suggested to make a discovery here, because these journals are well-ranked journals, globally ranked journals. It means that they are reliable journals, they are monitored continuously. So if one of them is not good anymore, they are getting out from the list or from the picture. The main message of this slide is that it is, once we have a problem, once we have a topic, it is needed to be attached to a knowledge field. And it is also our decision that where do we make that. It is easier to make that on the picture on the left side, because there are 8 topics, umbrella topics. So sooner or later, we can find one of them. And it is harder to make that if we start to seek the journals immediately. So to solve this problem, it also depends hardly on how developed our topic, how narrowed is our topic. The second phase is when we are discovering the knowledge background. And so once we position our problem, we can find the vocabulary in the existing results. It means literature review, it means reading, it means finding the right journals, finding the right style of the journals from the given knowledge background. And first cases, almost every time that we are meeting with gurus from the scientific background, and we cannot compete with gurus. So we need to, we cannot stop the positioning, the narrowing of our topic. So this is a conscious activity, and we always emphasize that it should be a conscious activity to discover, to narrow our topic, to read and read and read more. And RunEU Plus is a very, very, very important point here, because it has a practice-based research aspect. And it is very important because RunEU Plus is emphasizing to involve students, to involve researchers who has the practice-based problem, and it says that practice-based problems are very important in science. So once you have a practice-based problem, it's easier to discover the knowledge background, it's easier to narrow or to shape that problem in the academia, and RunEU helps in it a lot. The next slide. The third phase is understanding the research field. So once we discover the knowledge background, we have the keywords, we have the key topics, we know the key trends, we can start to harmonize, to systemize the conceptual and the contextual frameworks. And also we can start to focus on methodologies, so dominant methodologies and the dominant fields of data collections. Because on this way, we can discover our research gap, or we can define our research gap better. So we can start to write conceptual papers or papers which are addressing problems or which are addressing research gaps. So these papers are one more step closer to the real solution. And one more step, more papers than literature reviews or mapping studies. And if we are on this route, After that, we can make papers or we can test our concepts, and we can make papers which are trying to solve the problem or which are trying to show the originality of our topic. So problem is not, we cannot understand this sentence like we should really solve the problem. It is also a solution if we call the attention for something which was not really important in science. If we call the solution that this is a problem, this problem cannot be solved in this context, but maybe in other contexts we can solve it. So this is also finding in science, especially in professional education on PhD level. So these are the 4 steps, and if we check out the papers which are related to there, we can see that on the first page there are papers with relevant literature review, mapping study, after that papers with conceptual frameworks, after that relevant papers in addressing research gap, and the original paper and the valid papers. We are continuously moving on these levels because we are continuously changing and shaping our topics. So this is not an order, these are only levels. And this is only tested for business administration, PhD education, as I mentioned it so many times. I just took some photos from general publication strategy pictures, and when I was seeking for them, for example, the first photo with colors, this photo is not about publication strategy, it is about how to start to make a publication strategy. So there are many, many views and many, many aspects, and there is no solution. I like the third photo, which is not really a graph. These are three steps, which makes that, which says that you should make your goals, make your notes about your goals, uncertainties, and resources. That's what we are doing now. Actually, we are defining our challenges, and we will talk about potential resources in the afternoon session. After that, you should make your plan, your publication plan for the short-term plans, long-term plans, and you should compare these 2 points continuously, and you should harmonize these 2 points continuously. And on that way, maybe you can have your most efficient publication plan. There are success factors. I mentioned them, but I'm just collecting them here. I was talking about the importance of having problem from the practice, or at least the advantages of having problem from the practice, and the importance of try to have problems from the practice. The other very important point is knowing how to use scientometric databases. For example, only my case, so it's not the best solution, it's only my case, that I'm using SkyMago for seeking countries and journals. Through SkyMago, I can see and I can filter the publication, I would say business, but I know that I cannot say business. So I can see the publication market in countries, but I cannot really search for authors. Searching for authors is more easier on Scopus, and of course Google Scholar, but Google Scholar is too broad many times, at least in social sciences and business administration besides. So I'm using Scopus, which is better for searching for authors and their publication and their curriculum. It is very important to know how to handle these kind of databases, because this is the very first step of putting together a very comprehensive literature review. So I would say that this is the very first step when we start to think about publication activity or efficient research activity. And of course, there are tools. So when we want to know how to handle these kind of databases, we should read a lot, we should search a lot, and networking is like a 0 step. And of course, it's always presenting itself. So it's a very important step. That's what we are doing now. We are networking. And when I will conclude or summarize the breakout rooms, I would like to collect more and more tools from your discussions, from the facilitators. First, of course, the challenges, but after that, the potential tools to struggle with those challenges. Here are the suggested questions for the facilitators. It is not an obligation to follow them. So the first question in the breakout room is about your research strategy. Have you already identified your research strategy, or what are your plans, and why do you have these plans? The second one is how to find the correct journal in which you can present your research. Do you have already a target journal? Or did you have ever a target journal? Did you have work with your target journal? And the third question is about this. Have you experienced rejection or got harsh critique from the target journal? How did you feel about that critique? What was your approach? How could you overcome it? Or could you overcome it, or you just left the paper somewhere and you will work on it in the future? And one more general suggestion: share your contact, because that is the very, very zero step of starting the networking. And I think they will be suitable for this. So whenever you see somebody who think that he or she is close to your research topic or could help in future common research, just share your contact with him or her. Don't be afraid. And maybe it can be a good ground for your possible future work. Thank you in advance. If you have any questions, you can email to me as well, and I will give the word back to Verve or Hannah. Thank you.